Almost 1 year ago, I made a video on how I balanced my cameras on my gimbal. Back then it was the Ronin S, and today I have the RS3 MINI. And I want to show you how I balance my A7S III with a G Master lens on here, and also how I balance my 70-200. At the end, I will show you my settings I use on this gimbal. First up, I have my Sony A7S III with a 16-35 G Master lens. I want to screw this base plate and tighten it up. On this camera, for the balance here, I want to set my camera. This camera has a zoom ring, so I want to set it in the middle. I also open up the screen because the weight will tilt a little bit out there, and I want to shoot it open like this. So I simply just slide it in here, turn this one to lock it in, and now it's locked in place. All the axes here are locked right now. So if I open up the first one here, the tilt axis here, you can see it's not balanced at all. And what you can do, two things to do that. The first one is to open up this one, push the camera the opposite way of where the camera is tilting. So in this case, I want to push it back a little bit forward until you found this sweet spot. It's just right here, and you lock it in, point it upwards. And with this down here, you can open it up, and you can move the camera forward and up or down where it's sitting like that. You can move it, and you can see it tilts back or forward. Find the middle spot is right here, and like that you can test it by tilting it. The perfect balanced gimbal will stay where you put it. So this is almost balanced. I think it's good enough. I lock this axis in, and we take the next one, open it up down here, and you can see it goes a bit off. I open it up and I try to push it around the other way of where it tilts. We don't have much room to push here. On the Ronin S, you have a bit more room to be in. I think that's fine. And for the last axis, people often forget this. Down here you have the roll axis, the pan axis, and you use this all the time. So to balance this, tilt the gimbal forward. As you can see here, it's already balanced because I can put it in every position. If you don't, you just open here, do the same thing, push it the other way of where it's tilting, and point it 45 degrees again, and to be sure it is in the right place. So just like that, my gimbal is now set up, and I turn it on here. Here in the menu system of the RS3 MINI, we can push this button up here and start auto calibration, and this will distribute the strength of the motors out to where the balance is, and it will try to find the perfect balance. Press complete, and just like that, I have a balanced setup and calibrated for the weight, and the gimbal should now be perfectly steady. The settings I often use here is the pan follow setting. I also choose between the PTF mode and the pan follow mode. Pan follow or PF mode is where your gimbal follows you when you turn the handle, but it doesn't do it when you look down. The other one is PTF mode, pan tilt and follow. In this mode, your gimbal will follow you on your pan axis, but it will also look down on you when you are looking up or down. Over here on your speed setting, your follow speed, this is very important to have a slow cinematic movement. 90% of the times I use it in slow setting. Sometimes it's not enough. Then I go into the custom settings, and here you can choose between how much speed you want. Often I use it on 10 to 20. And here you have a very slow movement. So you can see I'm twisting my center of the gimbal a lot, but the gimbal are not following that much. And it gives me more of the room if I walk around and I'm a bit shaky on the hands and turn around like this, the gimbal are not moving that much with me. If my follow speed are way up on 100 or on fast, the gimbal, see how the gimbal is micro adjusting every time I turn my handle. That's not a great cinematic move. You need to be down on the slow settings, 10 to 20%, or set it in slow. So press the off button once and you go into sleep, press it again and you're back. Right now I want to mount this vertical because this gimbal has a native vertical option. So I lock in all the axis here, I need to take this plate off right here. And also removing this one. And take the plate again and mount it upside here. Oh no, and mount it downside here. Lock that in, take a camera and push it in on the side here. And once again, I need to balance this because it's very off. Complete. And there you have it. The vertical setup for your gimbal. Works perfectly. If you connect your camera Bluetooth with your gimbal, you can use the record button down here to press record, and your camera will start recording without you connecting it with a cable. In the good old days on the Ronin S, you needed to connect with a cable to be able to start and stop recording here, but that's not the case anymore. If you press on the power once, it goes to sleep. Take your camera off, do something else, push it back in, press on the power, and it's back, and you're ready to shoot. It wireless connecting, and you're shooting. What if I want to shoot with my 70-200 and my A7S III on this RS Mini 3? Is that enough weight for the motors? Can it be manageable? A lot of you have seen me done it on my Instagram page and asked me how I did it. And right now I want to show you. I want to strip off all the weight I can, so I'll take off this plate, so I only have the gimbal and the camera. So right here I want to mount it vertical. You can also mount it horizontal, and I click it in. This zoom range doesn't go out and in when I zoom it, so it doesn't matter where I put this, it's the same weight. So I will open up the first axis here, and as you can see it's very heavy. I need to get it all the way to the end. As I do this, it's almost too much. I need to find the sweet spot. I think it's around here. So you can see it stands alone now. When I look up, it's going a bit around. So I open up this and I try to push it opposite way of where it's going. So this axis is now good to go. I open up the other one here, tilting a little bit to the right or left, to left. Balance this up, looks great. Open up the last one, the pan axis, tilted 45 degrees, stays. All right, I turn the gimbal on, go to auto tune, start auto calibration, hit OK. And right now you have a balanced 70-200. Will you look at that? A7S III with a 70-200 on a mini gimbal. And it's going strong. You can even see here on the little icon on your gimbal, the green one up here, that's the gimbal are not having a hard time. You can see if I push it out, it's having a hard time. It will blink red if it can't handle the weight. You can go into it and you can see how the balancing are going for this gimbal, and it's going quite well, even when I move it around. No overweight or too much strength on the motors. Tilt it up and down, and with this you can make a very, very interesting warp or vertical parallax effect. Auto tune it because it's the new configuration. Every time you do a new configuration, auto tune the motors and you have the perfect strength on your motors for the weight. That's very important. And just like that, we mounted horizontally a A7S III with a 70-200 on it. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Hope you got something out of it. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe. Until next time, see you.